Morning. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with the Principal. I need to get my coffee. Bunch of things to tell you about. This is a very, very busy month, and we have a lot going on and a lot of new exciting things. So on Friday, last Friday, this was kind of just a fluke kind of great thing that happened through board member Monica Garcia directed us to Wuxia, all-girls school in Beijing, China, and they came and visited us on Friday, and we became a sister school. So we're really excited about that, and that means that they're going to come visit us with a delegation probably in spring of teachers and students, and then we may have the opportunity to visit them the following year. Right? I'm very excited about that, so, and the teachers are really excited. But we had this great time at lunchtime where all the teachers came in. They asked a lot of questions. They loved our school. They were really impressed with our hardware, they said. So we took them in the makerspace, and they were really impressed with that. And they were impressed, even though we feel like it's a deficit that we don't have each student having a one-on-one computer. They're sharing them often in the classrooms. For them, coming from their school, it was like, wow, this is amazing that you're using the computers in the classroom, and it kind of gave us a different frame and a grateful frame. So we felt very grateful after that day for what we have so far and how much we have been given by companies, by parents, by students. And so it was really kind of a nice frame to have at the end of Friday. We also have just been designated one of 3 schools in the Southern California area to start biomedical technology. It's a class that will have in 11th grade and 12th grade, an elective class along with their physics. And it's going to be connected with the School of Anesthesiology at UCLA. So it's a really great connection, great partnership, and it's only Venice High, our school, and El Segundo High that will have it. So we're really excited that we're one of these 3 schools to pioneer this. And if it goes forward the way we hope it goes forward, it'll be spread around the region, but we're kind of the pilot schools to have this new class, which we're super excited about. So some other things that are going on, obviously you probably know tomorrow's a half day. We're doing PSAT testing. So I have gotten donations so that all of our 9th graders are going to take the test for free, which is great. Yeah. And then our district pays for all our 10th graders to have the test, which is a pretty amazing commitment from our district for college and career readiness. So what we do with the scores is then the teachers look at them, and also the students can look at them and see where are the places that I need to improve in. Because remember, this is an 11th grade test they're taking in 9th grade. So there's going to be a lot of room for improvement, but it's a really good frame for them to have, because in 11th grade, the PSAT counts for scholarships. So if they can keep improving and do a great job in 11th grade, they can get scholarships. And then all of this is in preparation for the SAT, which is the college entrance exam that most of them will take, either the SAT or the ACT in their end of their 11th grade year, beginning of their 12th grade year. So there's a lot of great preparation for college, and we're really excited to offer it. Though 7th and 6th graders are going to be doing workshops that the teachers have designed. It's going to be a rotation of 4 workshops that they'll be working on. All the workshops are meant to help them learn about spatial awareness. So spatial awareness in this sense is taking a 2D description and making a 3D object with it, or vice versa, looking at a 3D object and doing a 2D description with it. That's one of those pre-skills for math and science that typically students, if they don't have that, don't do well. And typically males do better than females. So we're trying to very consciously teach that skill to the girls, and we thought it was this great opportunity. Let's do these workshops, and then that awareness can go throughout the curriculum in 6th and 7th grade, but this is kind of a start. So they should be really fun. I think the girls will enjoy them. And challenging but fun. Then also, and it's a minimum day, so they get out at 12:30. We felt like once the girls were done with the PSAT, they weren't going to be too much else that day. And also so that our teachers could have a chance in that last couple of hours to work on their grades. So the 10-week, very first 10-week grades for some of you are coming, they're due on Friday. And you'll probably get the report cards. We'll mail them probably Monday, so sometime in the next week or so, you should get the report card for the 10-week. Just a reminder for high school. These are just a progress report. It doesn't go anywhere. It just disappears after this time. The most important grade for GPA is the 20-week, which will be December. And then the next one is in June. So all these little grading periods up till then, that's just kind of giving you an idea and your child an idea about how they're doing and what they need to improve on. And if you're in Schoology, you can see that all the time anyway. Our teachers are, Schoology is new to our school this year, so just so you know, our teachers, some of them are getting used to it. And so they're not as quick at putting the grades up, even though they might have them, because it just takes a while to input them. Some are better than others because they've worked with it longer. Let's see, what else is going on? Tomorrow also, UTLA, the Union for the Teachers in Los Angeles, is planning on doing some informational picketing tomorrow. So I wanted everyone to be aware that there may be teachers outside there with signs and with flyers, and they're basically, from what I understand, what they're looking for is being able to retain their medical benefits, because there's kind of a threat to the medical benefits, and also looking at some class size. Sorry, there's something wrong with this. Some class size issues across the district. So those are some of the things that they're wanting to let parents know, hey, we may have to go on strike at some point, but let's give you the information. So yes, it's absolutely fine to go across the picket line, because it's not a picket line, it's just informational. Those are some of the Yay, red line. And then I asked Ms. Martinez to come in today and talk about our earthquake drill that's coming on the 19th. Thank you, Ms. Martinez.
Okay, do I need to, go ahead.
No, just come stand over here. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, hi. So we are having our shake drill next Thursday, a week from this Thursday on the 19th. On Monday the 16th, we're going to be training our faculty with the emergency response team, because we are now we're spread out in 3 different places here on campus. We have 3 search and rescue teams now. So the focus this year is going to be training the search and rescue teams and training the emergency response team for when the actual earthquake, should it happen during school hours. Next year, we're going to be bringing in more of the parent volunteers to help us in terms of taking that training to another level, where the parents are going to be involved in the search and rescue part, where they're going to be maybe, having a sign that says I have a broken arm, so that the search and rescue teams can respond in an appropriate way and practice, how do I splint an arm? How do I, secure the arm while I evacuate this child? So things like that. But we are, again, focusing this year on training the faculty and training the girls on how to respond, during these emergencies.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Can you just update about the emergency packet, the backpacks in the room?
The safety committee is going to be reconvening because we have had a great response in terms of, parents wanting to step in and donate supplies. What we're looking at is class sets of donations rather than individual ones, because we want to make sure the whole class is set up first. And of course, if you yourself want to pack your daughter their own individual emergency, kit in their school bag, we encourage that as well, depending on what, the child's needs are. For instance, if they have allergies, maybe you want to pack in, that little emergency response team, like, the Benadryl, right? Of course, the medical forms have to be on file for something like that. But things like the water bottles, knowing that the drill is on October 19th and knowing that we're going to be evacuating the building, making sure your daughters have that water bottle, every day, but especially on that day, because we are going to be evacuating. And also, more importantly, having the conversation with your children about how you expect them to respond. If the earthquake happens during school hours, the expectation is that they stay here, because this is the safest place to be. But also, that being said, if your child is part of a carpool, letting the office know, letting us know, hey, this is my carpool group, so that if an emergency does happen, we'll be able to have that information and be able to respond appropriately. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So just a couple of other things on that. If you have not already indicated your carpool members on your emergency card, you need to make sure that happens so that we legally can release your child to a carpool. Secondly, I just wanted to, this is kind of something that goes on across the state of California in offices and schools, the same day, same time. I think it's 10:10 in the morning. And on the 19th. And so it's just kind of a reminder at home too, like make sure you have your earthquake kit at home, make sure your children know what the plan is for when they're at home, what do they do in case of emergency. So just kind of a reminder to all of us to kind of do that. I just went this weekend and bought some more supplies for my kit, and it's just kind of a reminder to all of us just to be prepared. We know an earthquake's coming, and just let's be prepared for it, as prepared as we can be.
Yeah,
So
we have a question online.
can we hold the questions till I finish everything? Okay. Couple other things I wanted to talk about. One is hopefully none of them have come home with us, but some of your girls are going to start coming home with this little red sheet. This little red sheet is that they were late to school. Being tardy is really a problem for us. It's not a huge problem with the school right now. It happens to be a little bit more in the upper school than in the middle school. But one of the reasons it's such a big issue is that we start with advisory. Advisory is when we do all the social emotional work that we're doing for the beginning of the day. So if we're doing a circle, for instance, in advisory, and we're talking about a very sensitive subject, and someone comes in late, 8 minutes, and just kind of barges into the middle of the circle, it interrupts the flow of the circle. It interrupts the flow of everything going on. So it's really, really important that the girls are here on time, ready to go in advisory. It's not a fluff period. It's not what some of you may have heard of as homeroom in other schools. We really do some deep work in that class, and it's very, very important. For the high school, it's even more important because we do a lot of our college education in that class and our financial literacy in that class. So if they're missing 8 minutes of a presentation on one of our colleges, then they're missing about that college. So it's very, very important that they're here on time. What we're doing is we have this little red slip that they get, they fill it out, it goes home to you, you need to sign it. It's a warning. They were 5 minutes late, 8 minutes late, whatever it is. Second time it happens, we'll make a phone call to you, and by the third time, they're gonna owe us time now. So for every 5 minutes, they're gonna owe us an hour of community service. What I mean by community service is service to our school, whether that's filing in our office, being a tutor in one of the office hours, doing something to give back to the school because they've harmed the school by not being here on time. So it's kind of a different frame than what you may have been used to at your other schools, but it's really, they're doing harm to the school by being late. Now they have to give back to the school by doing something for the school. And that will be after school, and we'll arrange it with you. I know that there are carpools and all sorts of things, but hopefully they'll never get one of these. And then I did tell all the girls when I talked to them in advisory, I've talked mostly to high school, I'll be coming to the middle school in the next week or so, but I let them know, we know there are always problems. There was a big accident on Olympic and 80 people were late, we understand that. Or occasionally the buses are late. There are different things that will cause you to be late occasionally. But if this is a consistent problem, we already said it's 3 times before they actually have to do anything. But if 3 times of being late in the morning tells you already something. It's someone who's habitually late. If it's someone who's just occasionally late, yeah, we understand. If you come with them and say, hey, it was my fault, I was trying to pick up someone and then whatever happened, then that's a different thing. But it's more just to kind of get the girls really in tune with, they have to be on time to school. It's important. Just like if they were going to be at work, they have to be on time to work. So one of the things I've told the high school girls is, if you were in some job this summer and you were late 3 times, guess what? You're not going to get any more shifts. You're gonna miss work. So it's just trying to get them that really ingrained in them. Couple of other things. Oh, I don't have the right form here, but okay, a couple of other things if I can remember. There's a lot going on. We have 2 high school trips, one to Cash for College, which is down at the convention center where they'll learn about cash for college. There's a lot of financial aid workshops. There's a lot of essay writing workshops, a lot of different workshops they can go to. And then we also have a trip to Mount St. Mary's University. We're going to go to both campuses, so it's a long day, but it'll be fun. They're going to go to the Doheny campus, which is right down the street by USC, and then they're going to go to the Chelan campus, which is up in Brentwood, in the same day. And then we have a cyberbullying presentation for parents that's coming on October 26th. This is an expert in cyberbullying, and we're seeing some issues come up, you know, not huge ones, but we really want to make the girls aware and the parents aware of just appropriate use of social media, appropriate use of texting, all those kinds of things. So they're aware how much harm they can do to themselves by using things inappropriately. So the girls will have the presentation that Friday, and that Thursday night, I think it's October 26th, the parents can have the opportunity to hear the speaker. I think it's 6. I think it's 6 o'clock. It'll probably be in the cafeteria across the way from here. And we'll get more information out as that gets closer. I'm trying to think if there's any other. Oh, also our very first event with Bala, the boys' school, will be on October 28th, Saturday. It's a introductory robotics event. So some of the high school teams in the area that are very established robotics teams are going to bring their robots, and the Bala and Gala will meet together in the gym and be able to see the robots and hear from the team how they've built this robotics program. And then they'll have a chance to kind of walk around and hear from the students. There may be a couple of workshops. On that same day, the parents can meet in the smaller gym and have a college knowledge presentation from both counselors, the counselor of our school and the counselor of the boys' school, both excellent, very experienced counselors. So it was kind of exciting to finally have another school that we can do a day with. It'll be a morning, so from 8 to about 12. The kids will get food. I don't think we have enough for parents, but at least the kids will get food. And again, you can drop off your child or you can stay. It's either way. And there'll be an RSVP that'll come out soon on that. Any other events? You want to talk about bingo?
Bingo is happening and everybody's been donating. It's great, and it's on the 25th, so mark your calendars. I think we're good. There's a meeting this Thursday in the office, so if you want to come, but other than that, just please mark your calendars and come. It's going to be a really, really fun event. Starts at 6, doors open. Hamburger Mary's.
You also mentioned as far as the thing was groups, so there.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yes,
sure if do you want to, I'm not sure that they can hear you when you're speaking.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, so if you are planning to come to bingo, which I hope you are, it's October 25th. It's going to be at Hamburger Mary's. That's in West Hollywood. So everybody knows West Hollywood. It's like traffic-y and everything. So you definitely want to plan to come early. The bingo actually starts at 7 p.m. So the idea would be to maybe mark your calendars to come at 6. There's valet parking, so you don't have to worry about parking. If you're going to be a party of 6 or more, you need to call and make a reservation. And I think that's a good thing. Like, it's really great to come with your family and friends. I have a friend who was like, you got Legendary Bingo coming on, I'm gonna be there. And she has like this whole crew of people who come, because this is like just a really known event. So people have a tradition of coming to Legendary Bingo. So please come and bring your family and friends, especially the ones who like to spend impulsively, because we're gonna have beautiful, I'm gonna be starting to post on Facebook these amazing auction items. We have, a luxury condo in Las Vegas. We have a limo drive to and from the airport. We have a holiday cabin in North Carolina. We have beautiful clothes and Lakers tickets and tickets to Disneyland and Universal Studios. So we've got a lot of great things. So come and help raise money for the school. It's only $20 each. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can just mention all the school tours are sold out, but if any of our parents have family or anybody that wants in, they can email me directly.
Okay. So Susan is saying that all the tours right now are sold out, meaning they're full. But if anyone in our community knows someone that wants to get on the tour and hasn't signed up yet, email Susan directly and she'll try to get them on. So, any questions for me?
So I'm sorry, I think there's a girls football, flag football game this Saturday. Is there like a flyer where we can find out where the games are going so we can, time permits, we can go cheer them on?
So yeah, we have a lot going on in terms of sports. That's through Beyond the Bell. So Beyond the Bell has been doing a flag football league, and they had one competition 2 weeks ago at Marina Del Rey Middle School. We took second, which is pretty amazing. Our very first time out. And then this week, this Saturday? This Saturday, it's also at Marina Del Rey Middle School, but I don't know the time. So I can check with Beyond the Bell and we can post it somewhere.
And I can put it on, if somebody sends me information, I can put it on the school calendar.
Okay.
I didn't know
Awesome.
about it.
Yeah, and then there's also JMG Sports is doing, started their volleyball. I think they've got volleyball, soccer, swimming, and something else going. Not tennis. Oh, maybe it is tennis. I don't know. Anyway, they're going to start also competing with some of the local middle schools around. And then our tennis team, actually, they're playing today against LA High. And then they have, I think, two more tournaments that they're doing, I think. It's been hard to, arrange because we kind of came late onto the scene, but they've done really well. They played against some really tough, they played against Gardena, which is one of the top teams, and they did really well. So it's just, it's a building. All of our sports are building with CIF, and the basketball has done their training, and their tryouts are actually starting next week. And swim team is starting to meet. So there's a lot going on with sports here, which is great.
Can I ask you a question?
Wait, you had this question a long time ago
Yeah,
about
for
earthquakes, right?
Yeah, so one of the questions about the earthquake preparedness, I guess, was, is there any way, an opportunity for students to get CPR certified to do that? That's what they're
Okay, so the
asking.
question was, is there an opportunity to get kids CPR certified? I would love to add that as part of our health curriculum for 9th grade and maybe even our health curriculum for 7th grade. So it's a great suggestion and I'll look into it. All our teachers did the class a couple of weeks ago. So all our teachers, and almost all our teachers are CPR, and then many of us are AED. We do have an AED unit in our office, just so you know. We'll take that out with us on any time we have an emergency. It's portable. There's also, yeah, everybody's, not everyone is trained on the AED, but the AED is really simple to follow the directions. But we are going to train more. We just had time for 5 people to be trained so far. And then I think that Ms. Kelty may still have an GoFundMe for an AED for sports. I think it's up on GoFundMe, another portable AED that we can have. Other questions? Yes.
So, and this might be premature, but the CIF sports, they are getting credit for that gym credit. That's certain.
Okay, so the way it works is if you're in 2 CIF sports
Right.
and you're enrolled in the 8th period class, you will get PE credit for the
Okay,
course.
So they need to complete 2.
They need to complete 2.
Okay, and
Of
then
the
so
3.
that would be like, at the end of the year, that would be then shown on their transcript.
Right,
Okay.
right. And so they'll be enrolled in an 8th period class that will be held by the athletic director, who isn't here yet, but will be coming.
So that is, so like if they're on the tennis team, then they will be in a class
8th
in
period.
addition to the tennis team? Or that
The tennis team is not a
is-
class right
Okay.
now, but it will be. I mean, they'll be scheduled in a class.
Okay,
So they will get PE credit.
okay, got it. So not right now, but later. Okay.
Other questions?
So for children who are supposed to be in the GATE program, we've not brought this up at all, and the jargon, just trying to get used to the school. But is there, for the junior high, is there just AP thing that happens, or are there honors, or how does that work out for those kids?
So the question is for the GATE students that are designated, what's the program for them. We very specifically do not have honors classes. What we have found from the research and also experience is that if you differentiate by classes, if you track, then neither one gets as high as they could get. So what we found last year with our 6th grade, we didn't have any differentiation. Our girls made huge leaps in their standards and in their standards testing. And so based on that experience, the only designated change is the math in 7th grade, which is the accelerated math. And that is teacher recommendation and test score. So it's not necessarily related to the gifted category. So a person can be gifted in intellectual, but not test high in math. So it's just basically related to the math score on the SBAC and the teacher recommendation. That being said, Ms. Agamegwa is our gifted coordinator, and she is working with teachers on how they differentiate within the classroom. Because we know that you have to differentiate for everyone really in the classroom. You've got many different learners in the classroom with many different needs. So what she's working with the teachers on is how do you make that curriculum more challenging for students who are gifted, or help them in their giftedness. Because by being designated gifted, there's a lot of different categories. So it may be that they're gifted artistically, or they're gifted in, intellectual, or they're gifted in other things. So they have to really know that the teachers have to know what area they're gifted in, which is what she's working with them on, and then also how to differentiate within the classroom for them. And then additionally to that, the teachers are really aware, and we have a lot of students that come from outside of LA Unified. In LA Unified, every student is tested in 2nd grade for intellectual ability. In other school districts and in charter schools and in private schools, they're not tested. So we are also continually identifying more students that are gifted. So right now, I think it's about a third or more of our students are designated gifted in something. It might even be more than that, it might be about 40%. So again, we're working with the teachers to understand what the specific needs of every student in their classroom, because we have English learners, we have students with very specific learning disabilities, we have students who are gifted, and so we work with them, Ms. Martinez and Ms. Agamegwa and myself, we work with each teacher to go, here's your students, here's what this one needs, here's what that one needs. And then also within the classroom, the teachers do differentiate by adding an extra, they always have an extra thing that kids can do. And then they also, most of them have something they can do at home. So if you're not seeing that, I know that the science and the math department in particular send home newsletters or have websites that you can go to, and it'll say, if you want to have an additional conversation at home, here's something that you can talk about. So there's that as well. Other questions for me? I know we need to move to the Fogala meeting. If you have this.
I just had a question about the gate. So if they tested in at 2nd grade, does it say where their strength is, or is that something that the teachers find out?
The testing in 2nd grade is for intellectual ability.
Okay.
So
it won't tell you.
It won't tell you artistic. That's a different process. So at some point in elementary school, they may have been designated and then gone through with a creative process. It's usually a portfolio. So you would know as a parent, you're going to know that the student has been, designated as possibly gifted in this area, and then because they're going to, they would let you know.
The question is, if they are designated, do you know in what area, if they tested in and it wasn't a psychological?
Yes, we do. We do. Yeah, we have all those records in our. If it's not an LAUSD student, not necessarily, because again, they might not have been designated, but we have all the records from kindergarten on in our system. That's why they moved to the MISA system about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, is so that all the records follow your child. So even if we don't have the physical cum yet, which we do now, but if we didn't have it, we could see in MISAs what their designation as gifted was, or any other thing. Okay, other questions for me before we move on? Yes.
Halloween, Since we won't have another one of these until November.
I know that we're going to have a haunted house on Halloween. I do want to let the new parents know that that is one day that they do have free dress. They may not wear masks. They may not wear something that's going to hide their identity. They may not bring any kind of weapon, even if it's a toy weapon. Those are the things I can tell you so far that we've, put out there that, so just kind of be thoughtful about what they're gonna wear. But that is a day that they can wear a costume. And the plan is right now we will have a haunted house early in the morning here. I think it's gonna be in this room that parents are gonna work on. And then at lunchtime, we'll have some various activities that the students are designing. Very related to Harry Potter right now. So butterbeer and trivia contests and that kind of thing. So good, great question. Anything else? I know there's a lot of other events going on. I forgot to bring my list with me. So keep checking the website. That's your best source of information. Susan does an amazing job with me. If I have an event, I throw it to her and literally a couple minutes later, she's like, it's done. So,
If you need information and you don't see it up there, then remind me.
And then also the weekly newsletter, we spend a lot of time putting that together. Please check that first before you call our office, because you can get any piece of information you need on that and more. And so please make sure you check that.
Sundays around 7 o'clock, sometimes give or take, depending on the other two parents who have taken it over their family schedules.
Depending on how quick I can get my portion to them. Just sometimes late at night on Friday.
I'm sorry, Liz,
Yeah.
we've already talked about this. I was just wondering, because we talked about how the accelerated math, it ended up kind of by accident, whatever, like a lot of students, and we were talking about any kind of support. Has anything been done about
So right now I'm looking at adding a teacher's aide in there. Yeah, so that's one of the things I'm working on right now.
Is there anything?
The question was for people in the
Oh,
audience.
sorry.
The question was what's happening with accelerated math. It's a huge class. I know. Now I can anticipate for next year we're going to need 2 of them. But we didn't anticipate that this year because we had so many people coming in that qualified for it. So,
asking you to support or help in any way?
So I think right now the math department's meeting together. They're talking about aligning curriculum grade level. We're finally having departments. So you have to realize last year we only had 7 teachers and we had like 1 person in a department. There's no one to discuss anything with. So this year we actually have a department. I just went to the math department meeting. They held it this morning from 7:30. It started at 7:20 actually. And there's the 3 math teachers and the computer teacher who's also a math teacher. So it was actually really fun to have them just like really discussing like how should the standards flow between 6 and AP calculus. It was this really rich discussion. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. It just makes me so happy. So right now we need to let the department and the teachers get a chance to really develop what they're going to develop, which it's been amazing so far, and I think it's going to get even better with them finally able to meet as departments and start working on the curriculum and working on the standards and the standards-based grading and all of their policies throughout. And then I know that class is huge for the accelerated math, and next year we will plan better. Hopefully we'll have more math teachers and we'll be able to spread the wealth a little bit. And then also this year, temporarily, we're trying to get a teacher's aide to go in there to help the teacher, because it's a big class, and it's okay to have a big class that's accelerated, but it means there's lots of questions to answer. So I know the same thing is happening in our AP biology class. It's a big class. It's about 32, 33 students, and the same thing's happening, but because they're high school, they're able to more independently work than in the middle school. So it's not quite as much an issue, but it is a big class.
Is there a possibility, since you have a relationship with a university, that the teachers, like, they have students that need hours that are...
like a student teacher?
Yeah, like
Yeah, we're going to work on that.
Yeah.
We're going to work on that. It's a big commitment to have a student teacher, even a student observer. It's a lot of work for the master teacher. So because our school is so new, I'm kind of shying away from that because it's not something they can just come in and do. The master teacher has to do a lot of work with the teacher. So right now, it's probably not something that we'll do.
Yeah, I know at Playa Vista, we had a model program for STEM, and Loyola was right up the hill. So they had a program to model to teach the students, so therefore it was.
One of the things that you're bringing up though is, and I don't know if people know this, but yesterday we had our first LA City College class on campus for our 9th and 10th graders. It's art history, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, it was I was packed. There's like 30 girls in there. And it's just was so amazing to walk in and see them so intent and so excited about taking a college class on our campus. Next semester, they're going to be able to take a drawing course. So, they're getting their fine art through the college level. So they'll get dual credit. So they'll get credit for the college and they'll get credit for their high school graduation requirements, which, it's amazing. For one, they get to have that experience of having a college class, but in a safe, controlled environment of our school. And then, because a lot of them are 9th graders, there's 9th and 10th in there. And then also they get the dual credit. So it's a very exciting program. They'll be twice a week for the rest of the semester. And then again, they'll come in next semester with drawing. And then we're going to start slowly adding in more things, more classes. So I think I need to give up the time to Fogala now. So I'm going to end. Do you want to do the broadcast? I think it's good to do at least announcements for everyone.
Yeah,
We don't have anything prepared, but.
Upcoming events, fundraising, what's our goal for our advisories? A couple things like that might be good.
Okay. Rita, do you want to talk about Halloween first?
Halloween.
I'm sorry.
Talked about the.
I already
Oh,
talked
you
about
did,
it, so I
okay.
think we're good.
I'm great at this. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. I guess I could just share that we started the annual Give raffle this week. And with that, everybody.
Sorry, just to note, all of the chairs have been measured, nothing can be moved, nothing can be moved. None of the desks or chairs can be moved because of PSAT testing. They've all been
We
measured.
literally have to measure between them to make sure that it's right for the assessment.
Wow. Thank you. So the annual Give raffle has begun. The first winners will be announced next week. Everybody that has already given to the annual Give will be entered. And so if you haven't given, give, any amount counts. We're just asking that everybody participate. And Nolan, what do you think? Anything else?
Yeah, just to give you a little, sorry, I'm reading from my notes from Elizabeth that is handling the Gala Giving campaign. The flyers went home yesterday. They're making announcements every Monday in regards to the Gala Giving campaign to give the girls a heads up of what's going on. The newsletter and also Facebook will also give updates. The raffle will be every week for the next 4 weeks. Prizes like pier wristbands, so being able to go to Santa Monica Pier. Ralph's $100 gift card and more. Donations of any amount. Also, the first 3 advisory classes to get to 100% participation will get an ice cream social.
I think that's it, right?
So that's it on Gala Giving.
Okay, thank you. Look at our notes. I think that's good. We're not going to hold the meeting online, so we're done here. Come and join us next time. Bye. Help, Susan, help.
Just close it.